Well, let me tell you about church hurt and how it ties to grief. When we are talking about church hurt, we tend to experience the same things we would as if someone would have passed, or if we experienced a natural disaster, losing a job, issues with relationships, because church hurt equals loss. And it's not a little loss. It is a huge loss, because just like with grief, church hurt is a shock to our system. And what do I mean by that? Most people are not looking for people in the church to do them dirty as if they were out in the street. Why? Because a lot of times we are told that church is where you go to get help, to get support, to feel loved. And no matter what, you've got God and you've got church folk. And then when you go there and you do what they ask you to do, or even if you hit a little rough patch and you're having some growing pains, what you don't expect is all of the heat or the underhandedness that goes into church hurt. And so in my series titled Tired of This Church, I'm really just trying to let y'all in on how church hurt is grief and how all of that can impact you negatively. Because just like with grief, it can be hard for you to go back to church, listen to a sermon, read the Bible, hear anybody talk about church, because you click out. And that is tied to pain that you experienced in the past, whether it was one person or more than one person. And so with my series, I hope to shine a little light on what's really going on when it comes to the church. And hopefully we can all learn how to help one another instead of hurt one another, because that is the main issue. Sometimes it's the delivery, not necessarily the message. And if we are going to talk about the church, we have to understand that people hurt in the church just like they hurt outside the church. And let's hear people out. Let's see where we can find common ground, hold people accountable, and make the necessary changes so that we can grow together. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Especially if we are calling ourselves Christians or whatever belief system we follow. Maybe it's not Christianity, it's another religion. Or you might be like, I'm atheist. I don't believe in any of those things. Whatever it is that you believe in, hopefully your goal is to do right by others, just like you expect other people to do right by you. So tap in. I might say some stuff where it's like, ooh, and you might want to leave some messages in the comments, drop a comment, questions. If you have certain topics that you want me to talk about with church hurt, let me know, because you already know. If you've been in the church or you know of the church, you know it's some, not all. And we want to make sure that we are giving people a fair chance to be themselves and not run them off and not have things change, because a lot of times the running off is because change is coming. And so we want to be able to bring people together, talk about these things respectfully, and work on these things so that we can grow together. So as always, take care.